Yo, beast mode, I go beast mode. Left, right hook, then I reload. Speed, agility, breathe slow. Connect every uppercut, clean blows.
It's Chris Waddams here for Southpaw Jab with Team Southpaw Jab member Jack Hughes. Not the greatest time to come down because you announced last week that your fight was off.
Yeah.
But I was coming down anyway. I didn't want to waste the journey, so I thought I'd interview you anyway. How's it going, Jack?
It's all good, Chris. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. So tell us what happened with the fight.
But basically, obviously, I hurt my hand like 6-7 weeks ago, and I hadn't sparred for the whole of camp. And then I went back in, thought the hand was fine, got in, threw one shot, it just went. And then obviously Steve called me up, well not called me, called Barry up, told him my opponent pulled out of the fight, and then they wanted me to fight someone else who at like super bantamweight or something, and it just weren't worth the risk of not going. Do you know what I mean? Just going into the fight, no sparring, and then fighting a lad 3 weights heavier than me. It just wasn't worth it. So we decided to go back out again in March or sometime.
Okay, so you said March. I mean, that's a long time out. If the opportunity comes, will you be jumping it to be back in the ring sooner?
Yeah, hopefully. I'm going to take a week off and then get straight back in. I'm going to continue dieting all year round now. I just can't be arsed making the weight like 11 weeks before a fight. It's just too much. So I'm going to diet all year round, so I'll always be ready now. So hopefully if something else come up, I'll take it.
As we found out on your gym mate's 12 rounds of Southpaw Jab, he said that you're a bad trainer. So so those 11 weeks of dieting, you probably need that little bit more help.
I don't understand. He said I was the best trainer as well, so I don't understand.
He's over there, the culprit. Look, he's laughing at it there. Okay, well, I don't really know what else to say, Jack. Like, there was so much I was going to ask you about your fight. Do you know what I mean? Like when I said I was coming down and stuff like that. But so let's talk about next year. So you're not going to be back in the ring in 2017. 2017's over. Let's review this year. It's been your first year as a pro. How would you rate it?
Yeah, I think it was a good year. Like, obviously I lost my debut, but I think that kind of made my whole career what it is to me already. Like, everyone always doubted me no matter what I did. Even when I was young, they always doubted me. And then I turned pro. Everyone was like, no, it's not the right decision. So you had all the doubters again, and obviously I lost. So it kind of like, it made them, they thought it was all right from when I lost on my debut. And then like, it just made me so much more hungrier to get back in. And then obviously my second fight, my opponent pulled out. And then 3 weeks later, they got me someone who like, come over to England and sparked kids out. And like, he was a big puncher. Even though he was a journeyman, he was probably one of the most dangerous in my weight category. Everyone thought I was going to get knocked out. Everyone doubted me again. And I went in there and I didn't lose one round, schooled him. And then obviously I got my next fight. Everyone was doubting me again. Opponent pulls out 4 days later.
It was a rematch.
Yeah, it was a rematch. And everyone was saying I shouldn't take it. But I just turned around and say, well, if I didn't take it, what kind of fighter would that make me if I didn't want to take the big fights? Well, it was not a big fight, but to me,
to you it was. I mean, he was the guy who beat you on the debut, wasn't he?
To me, it was a big fight. And I went in there and I beat him. So I shut them all up pretty much. So I've enjoyed this year. And I've met loads of my idols, loads of celebrities, hung out with them, had dinner with them, you know. So I love being a pro. I love my journey, and I love it all.
You're just a fanboy with gloves.
Yeah, exactly, pretty much. Yeah.
So you're saying you said about opponents. There's not much out there for you to fight, which means you're going to progress quickly in the ranks, up the ranks, and towards titles. So 2018, is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, well, we had a plan to maybe 3-4 fights and then get a title shot in September, but seeing as I hurt my hand and all that, it kind of scraps the plan. So I want to get in and I want to fight the big names already. Like even though I've only had 3 fights as a pro and 10 as an amateur, I don't really want to be sitting around fighting journeymen and fighting 4-rounders for nothing. So I might, when I get a chance, I'm going to speak to Steve and I want to get a challenge belt. And I'm not going to mention any names because I don't want to call people out and all that, but I want my next 3 fights to be 3 big fights and hopefully all for titles, hopefully.
You're not going to mention names. I am. Sonny Edwards commented on your Facebook about you guys going for the area title. Is that a fight you want?
Yeah, I definitely want to fight Edwards. But we'll see. He was one of the names, but maybe for a bigger title than maybe a Southern area, because obviously he's a big name. So why take a risk with someone that big, maybe for like a challenge belt or something, only doing an 8-rounder? It's not worth it. So he's a big name, so if he wants to get it on, we can, but let me build up my resume a bit, fight for a few titles, and then we can get it on for maybe like a Commonwealth or a British or something.
But it's a fight you definitely want in the future.
100%.
Alright, wicked. So we've covered this year, we've covered you next year. I'm not going to go too far ahead, but before we go, is there anyone you want to thank?
Yeah, I want to thank obviously my team, my whole team, all of them, everyone that buys a ticket off me, and obviously I've started a PR man, Jordan. He's done a lot of help for me lately, so I want to give him a thank you as well, and obviously Brian G, my coach.
And what about that top you're wearing? You're not going to thank them?
Oh yeah, of course, Southpaw Jab as well. I'm a new member.
Alright, Jack. Well, thanks for your time, and we'll talk to you soon.
Cool. Thank you very much, mate.